We may as well kick off, obviously, with the Queen Mother. It's Altior and Defi Desoy, Shakun Persois, they're heading the market. Altior's never been beaten over 2 miles. I think he was messed around in the autumn. Probably, in hindsight, definitely the wrong thing to do with him, stepping him up and trip. Defi Desoy has been brilliant, and Shakun Persois has been making his own reputation. Let's start with you, Paddy. What would you like to ride in this?
What you said there, Altior's unbeaten over 2 miles, and until he's beaten, he's the king of Cheltenham, you know. His form is just unbelievable around there. The complete wrong thing to do with the horse, and the surname hasn't come back since it. You know, they broke each other's hearts. Yeah. But I think, and I said it a while ago, I think Nicky Henderson pulled up stumps early enough with this horse and realised, look, we're not going that route. Freshen him back up. He went and won the last day. Jumped a little bit big. He's always jumped big, Jen. He's always jumped big. He's always hit a flat spot. But he hits the line. Nothing gets by him over 2 miles.
But he always wins,
Always wins.
Goes back to what you said, Paul.
They win. Now, the 2 young pretenders coming behind him are 2 very good horses. Defi Desoy looks like he gets better every run. He's getting more professional. And Willie's horse, who knows? Who knows how good he is? I haven't seen a horse jump as well in Leopardstown for years. Maybe I've never seen a horse jump as well. But took on Min good and early, and he's a good yardstick too. You know, and he beat him. Something similar Altior has been beating him down through the years. So it could be the best race of the festival to watch, you know, and for future 2-milers.
That's a valid point. Gary?
Yeah, echo Paddy's thoughts now. Altior, until you beat him, he's the best there. I liked his run the last day. Hit his flat spot, but really powered clear once Nico got stuck into him. Defi's done nothing wrong, but what he's be and all doing the saw now, he is a warrior, but he's pushing on and he's not getting any better. Chacon Persois, he's just priced on hype, isn't he? I think.
It's a good hype now.
It is a good hype,
know.
but like his finishing efforts the last 2 days at Leopardstown wouldn't inspire me. Like if he's close to Altior jumping the last, Altior would blow him away up the hill, I would have thought. Unless he's going to step forward again, he has the potential, but he's priced on potential. Altior's priced on form, and been there, done that.
That's actually a good way of putting it, isn't it? Paul?
I just think the acceleration that Altior shows after he looks like he's in the spot of bother, and all of a sudden then you get stuck into him, and I just think the way he picks up, there's nothing to pick up like him. I think your man has had to be exceptional this year. Danny will know a bit more about what the lads still think. I still think on the saw, whether he's up to as good as he was when he was young, but he seems to have he's just gotten beaten by a better horse in improving Defi Desoy. But I just can't see him getting past Altior. I think the way he just accelerates when he looks in trouble is phenomenal, and I think at that sort of money, I think he's a marvellous. I think he's the winner of this race.
I think Paddy hit the nail on the head starting out. It's the race at a festival, but I'm a big Altior fan. 10-year-old, you know, down on the second last is the usual thing in Newbury, and he powered home from there. You know, Defi Desoy, 7-year-old improving, Chacon Persois. You know,
They'll be the strong travellers, but will they match Altior in the last furlong?
I think Altior's ability showed when he got beat the last day, because I don't think he's anywhere
He
near.
stopped that, did he? He
No.
didn't fall in. He's
I
still
don't think
plugged on.
that trip doesn't suit him, and I don't think he's that type of horse. Yet he just kept at it and at it and at it, and your man had him to the grind, you know.
I
They
love
bet him over 2
Altior,
furlongs that day.
Yeah.
but I still want to take him on.
Yeah, I'd like to ride him in it now.
If you were to sit down and say what do you want in it, you'd have to go Altior.
Yeah.
But
Well, your man looks to be improving so much, lads. If he continues to improve at that rate and he steps up from his last run, and you'd have to say the Defi Desoy. I'd fancy him ahead of Chacon Persois. I think that he just looks to be improving at such a rate.
Yeah. But
But I still
Willie's
think your
horse, Chacon Persois, I haven't seen a horse jump like that for a long time.
He's brilliant.
And
He was brilliant in Punchestown too, wasn't he?
Leopardstown,
yeah.
it takes a bit of jumping, and he took on Min 2 out. I know he finished slow, but Min from 2 out in Leopardstown, you know how hard it is to get home from there.
But I wouldn't worry about the fact that he's finished slow. Those 2 mile races, when they jump out and go a proper gallop, It's a real
Nothing
stamina
sprints
test.
home, yeah.
Like
Well, it's normally the horses that are ridden out the back, they look like they're closing, but they were never
They're
in the
just
race.
making up
Yeah.
the ground that
You know,
they
you can-
gave
you can
away.
pick
It would
Yeah.
take a
holes in-
sprinter sacre to finish strong, doing
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
they did
Yeah.
at the Dublin Racing Festival. I put up one I like each way just before we close this race. I like Dynamite Dollars. He was a very good novice last year for Paul Nichols. He missed most of this year. He's had one start. I thought it was a satisfactory return. Paul Nichols in a chase at Cheltenham. Do not rule him out. The Ballymore novice hurdle, Enva Alin, probably the apple of the Irish novice's eye.
Yeah.
He has done nothing wrong since Walter Connors went to Field in France and bought him. He's been brilliant so far. He's done things that big horses say they shouldn't do. They're too immature, they're this and that and the other. He's won a champion bumper and now he's coming to Cheltenham again. Is there anything that can land a glove on this guy?
I can't. From the day he was brought up to Colin Bow, I think he was exceptional from day one, and he was supposed to be unbeatable as a point-to-pointer. And normally Bow don't be too far off the mark when he calls the real stars. And the ones he called like that were Grade 1 horses. And this fella, he just does enough. The lads were sort of picking holes in it that he only bet this by that, but he beats them all by the same. And he looked beat in Fairyhouse the last time. He still kicked on and won going away against Abracadabra, who's one of the favourites for the Supreme
Who we
Novice,
like, yeah.
who we like. So I mean, when you have a horse like that, probably he's perfect trip. And I think you could run him in any of the novices, and he'd nearly be favoured for all three.
If he ran the champion, he'd nearly be good.
He would.
Yeah.
So that'll just tell you, it's very hard to look at outside anything else if this fella's going to be favoured for the champion hurdle.
But that'd be
And he
very
would be fair.
boring. You'd have to take him on. Denman got beaten this race.
Yeah.
Look how good he was.
But it normally it never works, lads, does it? It very rarely ever works, even if it looks like I won't call it a weak or champion hurdle, but it very rarely works. Was there 2 novices won a champion hurdle? Alderbrook.
Yeah. Cold.
But a real good one hasn't tried in a
Yeah.
few years now. A proper top-notcher. Like Rhinestone Cowboy is probably the last one.
Mind
that
the
people
champion
really
hurdle. There's
close.
2 big horses here that might give him
I
something to
knew
think
this.
about.
There's a certain
Go
2
on.
getaways in here.
The big breakaway and the big getaway, you know, Tizards, Willie Mullins, they're 2 very good horses. And, you know, the big getaway out of Willie's, I've sat in the horse. He loves soft ground. He's very good. But the way Puppy Power talks about the big breakaway, I think this horse could be very, very good. He hasn't been asked the question to see how good he is yet. And at the prices in Vialan, you can't find a hole in what he's done. You'd be stupid if you were to try and back up a hole in Vialan.
But Danny, if the big breakaway or the big getaway were in the champion hurdle, what price would it be? I
They're not.
guarantee
They're
you.
going for a 2-5
But
race.
I'm telling you, your man would be
Yeah.
favoured for it. The 2 lads would
Yeah.
it be 12 or 14 to 1?
They would.
Would they beat Honeysuckle? Either of those 2 novices?
Don't know.
I don't think so. Look, I question maybe, is the Tizard horse streetwise enough? He was supposed to have a run and he didn't have a run, and I really like him. My uncle bred him, but he's never come off the bridle. He's never had to race over a hurdle. And I like Willie's horse, but I don't see him beat the favourite.
I can't see the favourite being beat. Paul, he reminds me of them old Hardy Eustace, Brave
Yeah.
Incas, War of Attritions.
Lads, he's unbeaten.
He shouldn't be doing
He's
what he's
unbeaten.
doing. He
He's
shouldn't
unbeaten.
have won
No.
all them bumpers. He's too
It's
big.
too boring, lads, to go with
I
the
know it
favourites
is too
everywhere.
boring,
We'll have to
but
take him on with
have
no
you-
We
one.
have to be sensible as
Yeah.
well, though, Danny. You know what I mean? There's a lot
Even
of people
here-
going to be
This
listening
is
to
a
If
you.
you were
Great.
sensible
There's a lot of
all
people
your life,
listening
you
to
wouldn't
you.
be here now.
This is a very good race, Jane. It's
You got to where you are by rolling the dice, Paul. Don't give up on me now.
I know that. I know, but look at all the falls you were after getting, and you're still nearly all right.
For me, I'm going to side with the big breakaway here to take on the favourite.
I hope you're
good.
right, but Sporting John, Time Hill, it all depends. If I had a novice and his tailor-made trip was 2 miles 5, I'd tell him go for the Albert Bartlett. Because I
Don't be telling him to go for the Albert
That's
Bartlett.
what
I
Paul's
wouldn't
going
want to
there.
be taking on the Enviolin. And look, we'll talk about latest exhibition in a minute, but this is, I'm surprised it's turning out to be as good as it is, because I thought they'd all avoid Enviolin.
But you see, they still might, I wonder. Are they all sort of confirmed what's going for? You wouldn't
Most
know what
of
had
them are
happened with
wrong.
all this heavy ground and this ground and that ground. You wouldn't know what lads would go for. You wouldn't know what had happened.
Okay, well, we won't stick at this now because we're spending
Yeah.
too much time on it. The
Yeah.
RSA Chase, very good race as well. Champ, Manila Indo, Allaho, Copperhead, Battle of Verdine, Faugheen. What is your cap on here, Gary?
I like Manila Endo. He's probably lacking a bit of experience, only the 2 runs. Can't have Champ.
Just based on the fall the last day?
Just basing his jumping. A
did
really,
nothing wrong, though,
a
up
really
until
strong run race. I don't think is what he's looking for. Allaho, I'd have a concern about him staying. I think he's in the wrong race if he goes for this. He's a strong traveller, but I don't think he finds an awful lot. Manila Indo jumped impeccable the other day, probably blew up the run in. Captain CJ gave him a bit of a fright, but Henry will have him spot on for the day. His hurdle form's exceptional as well. He's won at a festival before. He looks fairly priced. I think he'd be tough to beat in this race now.
Okay, interesting.
I'll have to agree with Gary about Champ. Did you watch him the last day?
I thought he did
Cheltenham.
nothing wrong until he did. It looked like he didn't even see it. He got no height.
If you really watch it, and maybe I'm wrong, you might be able to agree with me or not. It's not a Barry Garrity ride. He was told to go out there and do that. You know, go out and drill him from the front, see what happens. He hoofed him at nearly every fence, and he's landing, and he's sitting 3 strides at the back of every fence, squeezing him because he's landing his back end. He's not fluent horse. Even when he's good, I don't know. I don't like him.
Do you feel like you're always a little bit worried that he jumps jumps no fence the same?
Exactly, and he's too much effort when he is good, and it looks pretty. He's not jumping up in the clouds, but he's landing, and you can see Barry's just 2-3 strides squeezing. When you have a horse going down and just clipping the top and you're landing,
He was definitely better the last day, Paddy, wasn't he? He was definitely better the last day, Jim.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
he had the gun to his head all the way, and then he went down to the second last, full of horse. Barry done nothing wrong. I said, "Whoa, now easy," and he just galloped into it like it wasn't there.
He's a real McCoy type ride, just fire him into every fence.
I
from
still
the
think
front
he's
and
too
down.
careful. I don't think he has the bottle for it. I might be wrong.
Are we sure Champ is going for the RSA?
Yeah, they said last year that they made a mistake by not going to the Albert Bartlett, so I presume they're not going to not go for the 3-mile novice chase.
I think half the reason, his jumping was a little bit sketchy. Was he a little bit fresh? Was Nicky minded him early in the season?
He was slapping the neck off him that day. They wanted to just go and win that race, get it out of the way, get to the festival, and it didn't work because of the horse. I don't think it was anything else.
But you might have said it might have worked though, Paddy, but for the fall.
He was going to
No,
be
it's easy to say
emphatic.
but for the fall.
Yeah,
It was probably going to be nearly his most impressive win, was it?
I would say so.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to come off the bridle.
No.
The whole way around, I just kind of looked
you
at
were
it
worried a
going,
bit, yeah. Yeah.
Just not really. I know he's named the champ or whatever,
Yeah.
but if he was named Joe, I don't know what he'd be. As much a talking horse.
Yeah.
Fair point, yeah.
Yeah.
Danny, any indication, is Willie going to run Faugheen Allaho in this?
I'd be fairly sure from what we gather at the moment, Allaho will go here. I presume Faugheen is going to go. I think it's still up in the air at the moment, but the way Faugheen galloped to the line in Leopardstown the last day over 2.5, you'd think 3 mile would be no issue to him. And if Faugheen goes to Cheltenham, I would say the RSA is the race he's probably going to turn up in. But Willie could change his mind with that. But I'd be fairly sure this would be the race he's going to go for. The form of the last day, he'd have to step up again. And if the rain keeps falling, it gives Faugheen more of a chance. His form around Limerick under soft ground at Christmas was very good. But I do like Allaho. I think he's improving all the time. I beat him in Leopardstown at Christmas and came back. He won in Fairy House after that, and it was a big step up in his form. And at home you'd see him, he's a fine big horse. I think this lad, he's much better than we've seen of him yet. Champ, I like him, but I can't have Manila Indo. I think there's too many holes in his form. I wasn't impressed by him at all in Navan the last day, and Henry's been minding him.
He's been laboured, yeah.
I have question marks on Manila Indo. Was he Cheltenham winner 2 years ago? Or last year?
Last year,
beat Allaho.
Last year, beat Allaho. I'd be happy enough to take him on with his preparation this year. I think Allaho, he's...
Alloho actually beat him in
Sure.
Clonmel.
Lorena
Yeah.
beat him in her beginner's chase in Gore, didn't she?
She
Yeah,
did, and
and
she
it
looked
walloped
like a
him.
weapon
Yeah,
doing
she
it.
did. Yeah.
It looked very good form at the time, but to me, I just can't fall in love with Menelendo here, and I'd take him on. I think it's between Champ and Alloho. Nicky Henderson, he trains all these horses for March. I think we'll see a different Champ in Cheltenham.
He was
to the
going to
last
take
one.
him away to some racecourse to school, and I presume it was probably Kempton the other day. But yeah, you can be sure if there was an issue jumping wise to iron out, they'd have done that.
Yeah.
Paul, if you could have a saddle to put on one of these,
I'd nearly go with Alloho.
I kind of am with you.
No.
I think he's a superstar waiting to be born. He just hasn't done it yet.
Yeah.
Am I right in saying that just plans haven't worked yet with him? I seen him in the flesh one day down there. He's an impressive animal. I've seen him galloping.
I've seen him a few
And
times.
like the
in
ground got
gallop as
hard
well.
last year, so he
Yeah.
missed runs. He went to
He ran the
Cheltenham.
bumper last year at Christmas.
Yeah.
Showed up in Clonmel in a
Grade
3-mile
three.
hurdle, won it, then went on to Cheltenham. You're like, it's not
Yeah, and
a
on
Willie
to
Mullins
Punchestown.
preparation.
Yeah.
I think this lad has so much potential, and we're yet
And
to see
ran
it.
keen in a couple of races.
Yeah,
and Green.
definitely.
And, yeah.
He was very keen in the Albert Bartlett last year, was
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ruby, yeah. And he looked like might win it until he got to the bottom of the hill. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's a horse, when you do see him in the flesh, he's an impressive animal.
Now, having said that, if you go back to their novice hurdle form, Champ was second to
City Island.
City Island.
Yeah.
Would Alloho have been second in Ballymore? I don't think so. So they're probably, to me, priced right at 3-1 and 5-1.
Jumps the fence well, Alloho, doesn't he?
He
Looks
does.
like he's getting better every time.
He does, and the mistakes he made in Leopardstown the first day, he kind of dragged his hind end through it, which, in Cheltenham, those fences, the backboard isn't as high.
Yeah,
You get away
you
with
get
that
away
a
with
little
it.
bit more.
As long as it's the back end,
Yeah, he lifts
the
in
front
front
one
and
up,
he can keep going.
Yeah.
One other curveball, easy game. Is he going to go a shorter race?
I would have thought off the back of second to Faugheen, he jumps so well that he'd be one to go for the 2.5 mile race. I haven't heard any comment from Willie on where he's going. He was very good with me beating Alloho at Christmas, and the way he jumped down the back straight. Paul was gone 10 lengths in front of me that day, and I made up so much ground without moving on him. He gets from A to B so fast, easy game. I think the Marsh 2.5 mile is the race for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a brief mention of the cross-country chase. Tiger Roll is obviously the taste of everybody here. He's the favourite. He's a brilliant horse. He's probably one of the best of his generation. He's going for a 5th champion or Cheltenham Festival win. But the French have a very strong contingent in here, led by Easy Game. It's not going to be plain sailing. We won't spend too much time on this, but it's not a
Love to
straightforward
see
race.
Tiger all go and win easy, but the fact JP's bought this Easy Land and he looks a very good horse. 3-1 is short enough, taking on Tiger Roll. The horse I actually like at value is Never Rush Con, Jesse's.
Yeah,
He's done
he runs
nothing
his
wrong
race.
over the banks. And every time he's ran, he gets better and better and better. And when you know a horse that loves jumping banks and stuff, because Tiger Roll can take a few chances around there, but Never Rush Con at value, I think.
I like Never Rush a Con. The only negative for me on him is his form is around Punchestown. So Punchestown's more banks, where Cheltenham
True. He's
more
ran in Cheltenham
hedges.
though, has he?
Has
He
he,
has.
ran?
He
He
ran
has,
before
yeah.
Christmas, yeah.
I think
Okay,
he
yeah,
ran well enough for
that
it,
will, that would give him
Yeah.
much better chance, yeah. But to me, Tiger Roll,
He ran very well in the Boyne, considering he'd had the,
He great
the,
run,
lab,
yeah.
the
He looked the
layout.
winner.
Yeah.
He definitely looked the winner the way he travelled.
it was a
and all,
funny race.
He got
though.
free.
We went,
Actually got free.
we went steady enough, and I was actually beside Keith going down to the second last on Willie's horse Bacchusson, and I actually thought I'd win as well.
Yeah.
And Paul, I talked to him. He rode Penn Hill in the race. Thought he was coming to win the race. So the weather was very bad.
Yeah.
We ended up going a little bit steady. Maybe got everyone a little bit more excited about Tiger Roll than they should be. He's had a lot of hold-ups this year. He's people's horse. It'd be great to see him, but from a betting point of view, that's a bad
Well, the
price.
way he went into it last year, he bolted in that hurdle race.
Yeah.
Never come off the bridle. and
Different ground last year.
Different
Paddy.
ground last
The
year,
ground there, and I just thought, I went down to the track there for a walk, and there was 2.5 flights of hurdles of fresh ground. That wasn't too bad. Like the chase track was absolutely bottomless. And your man was the widest of all the whole way.
Yeah,
Tiger
yeah.
Road. He was on did you not think that?
Oh, he was. But I'd
That's the
say
very same as an extra handbrake up on you.
yeah.
he was
You know what I
told
mean?
going out there, mind this
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah.
and
Get a blow
Don't
into
get
him.
brought down.
Bring
Don't
him
get
home.
into any trouble.
Well, you definitely have to say, in my opinion, that they were definitely going down an extra 6 or 7 inches on,
was a great
that,
run.
on that
It was a
pure
good
blue
run.
out there.
Yeah.
It was some run.
It was a good run. I don't think it's
You know.
straightforward cross-country race from though this year.
If you're thinking about putting me in an accumulator, don't think that he's
Certainly.
an anchor.
The own job, yeah.
That's all I would
For
say.
me, Easy Land, I think he's going to beat him in this race. You know, is Gordon Elliott going to say Keith Donoghue? I presume is going to ride him. He's won it on him before. Is Gordon Elliott going to say to Keith Donoghue, go out there and win this at all costs?
Yeah.
I'm
Maybe
sure
not.
he's going to say ride your race and say Aintree is coming up. If you can win, and if not, don't abuse him.
Fair point. Still
Now,
Cheltenham
it's
Festival.
Cheltenham.
It'll be
Oh,
his 5th
Is Keith
Cheltenham
going on?
Festival win.
I don't think that.
I think
I
Keith
don't think
will
there's any
want to win.
negativity in an O'Leary instruction.
No,
Yeah.
no, there's no
I
such
think
thing.
it's-
Yeah, and
I
I think
think-
Keith's
think
going to
it
get
today.
off.
It doesn't
they think
matter
it
if it's
today.
a
Cheltenham
charity
said, there
race.
you go,
It's the
today.
Cheltenham Festival
True,
winners
true.
at
I
closure.
think they think of today,
Yeah,
not tomorrow.
The Cheltenham bumper is always a head scratcher, and Willie Mullins, would you believe, has the first and second favourite.
I would believe it. Yeah,
I actually am going to throw up a curveball in here. I don't know if she is going, but I was in Gorn when Queensbrook won for Gordon and Jamie Codd, and I thought she was brilliant.
I have to agree with you. She was exceptional, and that ground, the way she quickened and kept quickening through the line, was very, very
Ears
good.
pricked was-
Ears pricked,
yeah.
easy,
She
easy
scored.
win.
Didn't she win a point for
For
scoring?
Aidan Fitzgerald,
Yeah.
But to be
Yeah.
fair, the favourite, his time around Leopardstown alone was very, very good. I think he's a solid bumper favourite. And after Leopardstown, I thought that's what I'd like to ride. in
Definitely,
Cheltenham.
and I actually thought going into Leopardstown, inside track in Leopardstown, you know, people probably don't appreciate it, but you know from riding around there, it's a big difference to being the outside track at Christmas. The inside track is very sharp, ground was lively, everything you wouldn't want for Appreciate It, and he still won like a good
to them,
horse.
didn't he?
I definitely thought he was the most impressive horse of the whole season, bumper wise.
The way he got down and galloped as well. But that mare, she did the same. She got down and you know, stuck the ears out. He's 7-4, but what he did at Christmas, he deserves to be really.
He's a simple horse too, isn't he? You know, the bumpers often can be run before you get to the start, but he seems to be placid, unlike Fernie Hollow, who's a bit of a freak.
Very good the last day though. Johnny
He
switched
was,
off.
but
He had to slap him down the neck.
bolted
after
to the
3-4
start.
runs. Did he?
You're talking
I
about
didn't see him now,
Notebook going
right?
to the start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about, is he
Yeah.
very keen at home?
He is. He's an advertisement for mental health. He has an awful lot of talent, but you know, you don't see one bolt to the start with Patrick.
Yeah, Patrick.
Patrick's is,
like we said with Notebook, Patrick have all that worked out
yeah.
before.
There's just Fernie Hollow has all the question marks. The ability, probably every bit as much. You know, with Fernie Hollow, say he probably had the Cheltenham bumper won in November from what he was showing at home,
Yeah.
and then his kinks came out. But
He'll get the pace he needs in this race.
It
If ever there
would
was
be
one, like,
run
he's
to
not-
suit.
Yeah.
There's a little filly there as well, that Politis. She was very good the other day.
Lorna
She-
Fowler,
She was
yeah.
second in the listed bumper on her very first run.
She's
So
well
she'd have to
bred,
have a
isn't
little bit of a
she?
chance. Yeah.
Jeez, you're going to make me
Come on,
expose me here now, Paddy. Stop, would you? There's another filly
get
in
away.
there as well, Panic Attack, that has come from Willie's.
Is she guaranteed to run?
I don't know. She's third favourite in here, 10-1. So we just better mention her. She's very small, is she?
She's quite small. I suppose, you know, she's only a 4-year-old, isn't she? Yeah, so, you know, for a 4-year-old and a filly, you know, she's probably an
Hard
average
call,
size,
isn't
but
it?
it'd be difficult. You know, it was a competitive race that she won. I think it was Huntington, or was it Market
Market
Racing
Racing.
actually?
Yeah,
Yeah.
bolted
It's a
in.
listed bumper, wasn't it?
It was a very competitive race and bolted in.
They did have a statement saying they weren't sure.
I remember
if they're gonna
when the
go-
new owner bought her, they said they'd leave it up to David Pipe, and it'll be interesting to see in the next week, 10 days, is David fairly confident he will go there. But, you know, leaving Willie's new stable,
She's not going to improve a whole lot coming over with these.
I
For the
presume, like,
change of
she's a
scenery,
can for
you
cliffs
know.
out of a Galileo. I presume she's been in training for a while.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
yeah. There's just a few negatives on her. Her ability and what we've seen around the track, it's very good, but
And
I
David
just wouldn't be
Pipe-
jumping to tip her here.
David Pipe has a real live chance, so you might leave her at home. Israel champ. Like I know, usually over here it's only good bumper horses running Ireland.
Yeah.
UK
But
do
he
have
had
some.
Moonracer, you
He
know?
did.
Yeah.
He has previous for this. This horse looks an
At
absolute
Christmas,
machine.
was it his last run,
Yeah.
Israel champ, and he said he was putting him away to train him for the champion bumper. Has he been a forgotten horse?
I think he has it. He's gone down the Moonracer route. He has the course form. Good high purchase bumper winner, pointer. I think he's coming in under the radar when maybe he's shutting his form's rock solid.
Yeah.
If he was trained by Willie Mullins, he'd be near favourite. Would appreciate it. I just think he's not getting the respect in this market, and he'll give the favourite a right race.
British horses often, in the bumper, Ireland always think we have the strongest.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, that's a valid point. Because he hasn't run doesn't mean he's not a good
Maybe
horse.
we don't see a whole lot of them. You know, the bumper horses over there, whereas here
It's probably
you're
the one
watching-
that is a bit of value
Yeah.
in the race.
Yeah, well, I'm with the mare in Queensbrook. I think 74 appreciated. It deserves to be favoured, but we'll round it up. Who are you all on?
I'll go appreciated.
I
He
have to
just
go the
looks
same.
very good.
I'd say, but I agree with you, the mare's good value.
And I'll go Israel champ, appreciate exactly.
There you go.
Day 2,
Good call.
sorted.